opposite. You have passed the 13 gates, and you come to my table to play the game of life and death. Your stake is wagered. I refuse none who come here, yet I say, turn back.
Hey everybody, Shotgun Warlock here. I am going to start with a playthrough of a game I picked up here over the weekend called Hand of Fate. It's a fairly new release. It came out at the end of last week, I believe. Would have been right at the very end of February here. I don't remember exactly what day. But it's kind of a combination of a card game and a little bit of a D&D kind of dungeon crawl, and it's also a third-person kind of Arkham-style brawler as well. It's kind of a neat game. It's published by an indie developer. There's a lot of little things you could nitpick about the game itself into different aspects if you wanted to, but it has such a neat presentation, and everything kind of melds together in such a way that it kind of becomes more than the sum of its parts in an extent. I played through the first few bosses. I think it was the first 3 or 4 bosses, just to kind of get a feel for the game and know a little bit about what I was going up against. But for the purposes of the playthrough, I'm going to go back and start at the beginning here, and we can start going through right from the start here. So go ahead and click the start button, and here we go.
Begins. One lives and one dies. Let us see what you are made of.
Not much. The
Here's
Jack
the first
of Dust.
member of my court, the Jack of Dust. 12 in all must fall before you may challenge me.
So, as he just said, there are 12 boss-type cards. They get progressively more difficult as you continue through the game, and the idea to win the single-player game is to, well, it's only single-player, but the idea to win the story mode is to beat all 12 of his bosses, or 13, or whatever he said. Anyways, there is also an endless mode that unlocks I just unlocked it, so it's like 4 bosses through, I think. I have not messed with the endless mode yet. I have also not really messed a whole lot with deck building itself, but you can totally build your own deck. For now, I go with what's recommended, just for the simple fact I kind of want to see the cards and see what they do. And once I mess with the endless mode, I'll do more of deck building and whatnot. But we'll see how the playthrough goes, and if I feel like it's worth it once we complete it, then I will start messing with putting out some episodes of endless mode also. So.
Scared of returning to the fray?
I am ever so very frightened of returning to the fray. He's good. You can...
Let the cards fall where they may. We begin.
When you do deck build, I know that you can build both sides of the deck, since it's only a computer opponent. You can build your deck and you can build his deck. I believe he always puts a couple of his own cards in it after the fact, but at least he does that in the single player anyways, or the story mode rather, so I'm not sure how that works out in Endless, but we can find that out later. So anyways, here's your guy. This is kind of the sort of the dungeon crawl aspect of it, or the D&D, whatever you want to call it, where you can move from card to card. This is obviously just a straight line. Later on, it becomes a little more. It starts to get more and more elaborate as you go through the game. You start getting more paths and whatnot in different directions you can go. So, but it's all random, and depends on which cards you pick up. So,
I was never a fan of illusion or pretense. Here, I'll make an exception.
Mr. Lionel. Every card has some kind of event on it, and you can choose to do it or pass it by. Some encounters obviously can't be passed by. It's just a matter of working through each card, and when you get to the end, you're supposed to leave to go to the next floor, so to speak, or the next level, however you want to look at it. Whilst enjoying your evening meal at the local tavern, a strange old man takes a seat next to yours. He taps on your shoulder quite painfully with his wooden staff to get your attention, and you notice that he appears to be a goblin, poorly disguised as a human. Yes, I think that qualifies as a poor disguise. His wizened face grins at you with a hint of madness. My name is Mr. Lionel. If you give me what I need, boy, I will conjure your heart's desire with this wizarding wand of my own creation. He cackles uncontrollably for a few moments and sits down patiently waiting for your answer. Alright, what do we got here? Give him bread from your plate, give him 20 gold, which I have 0 of right now. Ask him what he needs, or ignore the goblin. Let's see. I'm going to give him the bread off my plate. He considers the bread seriously before placing it carefully in his coat pocket, seemingly satisfied. Mr. Lionel taps his staff on the ground with the shield materializes at your feet. There you go, old bean. He smiles a warm grin, then reveals all his chipped and yellow teeth. Your face reminds me of my son. I haven't met you before, have I? Budding? Okay, there's our shield.
I cannot expect you to get by without some protection.
Oh, that was so very nice. Anyways, obviously this is part of the brawler aspect of it, so if you have a shield equipped, you can block using the Q. And also use the counterattacks, which are fairly effective. So, anytime you get new gear, you can choose to replace existing gear, or in the case of this, since I didn't have a shield already, it just automatically equips it.
You can now reflect your opponent's ranged attacks using your shield. Make good use of this skill if you wish to survive.
I will certainly try. Then before you can stop him with inhuman speed, he snatches a pickled onion off your plate and sprints out the tavern door. He can have the pickled onion. Alright then. So down here you can see your health, how much food you have, and how much gold you have. Health you can lose obviously during combat. Food is you use one food every time you move from one card to the next. But every time you move, you regain a certain amount of health. I forget if I think it's 10 health. It's either 5 or 10 health every time you move. So the maiden.
Fair Merith. I'm not surprised to find that this encounter remains vivid in your memories.
One day in a shady forest, you encounter an elf maiden. She stops to greet you. I am Merith of the Forest Folk. My people have long helped the mortals of this realm. What boon would you ask of me? Let's see. Longer life, ask for supplies, ask for gold. I'm going to ask for gold. Merith seems surprised. It is unlike an adventurer to beg for coin, but very well, if that is your wish. The dealer draws you 3 gold gain cards. 25.
I'm sure you're grateful for that.
Oh, I'm very grateful. Alright, so now I've got some gold. This is obviously the tutorial, basically, just to kind of get you used to the game. It is said that sharp-eyed adventurers may protect themselves from the worst of Lady Luck's contrary nature. Farewell, mortal. That was helpful. Alright then. The Twisted
Every step you
Canyon.
take consumes food, but you will also heal as you proceed.
You see a weapon glinting in the sunlight lying next to a skeleton at the bottom of the canyon. The walls of the canyon are covered in thick vines, perfect for climbing. Climb down and retrieve the weapon, or leave it. Well, of course we're going to go for the weapon. This is like the shell game part of it.
Choose from these options.
Ding. Yay! Climb down to retrieve the weapon. Very carefully you make your way down to the bottom of the canyon. You retrieve the weapon from the ancient corpse. Draw 1 weapon card. Hey, I got a sword. Damage 23. Alright, so... And I have a rusty axe which only does 20 damage, so we're definitely going to equip that. There we go.
That will make you much more effective.
I should hope so. Stairs.
Down once more, seeking the heart of it all.
This is the end of this particular level, so to speak. So now we move on. We've discovered the exit of this area. So, if you turn back, you can, in areas where you have other cards that you have not yet turned over, you can go back and collect them, which is usually a good idea if you can, because you want to get as much stuff as you can. There is a, depending on what your health and stuff is, there is a little bit of a gamble on it. because you never know what it's going to be. Once you do take the stairs, though, you can never come back. So
your journey is well begun. This is what I was looking for. You show some aptitude for the game. Perhaps
he's so
this will
kind.
not be as boring as I thought.
I'll try to make it entertaining. Alright, what do we got here? Traveling Tinker. So this is the merchant. So you'll see a little bit of what the third person looks like to a certain respect. In a shady grove off the beaten trail, you find a traveling merchant looking to trade with wandering adventurers. Tinker sells items of all descriptions. Approach the shop. There are varying types of merchants that you will find throughout the game. Some of them are... The others are more specific, like magic, tinkers, and things like that.
You now have your answer. We're starting to get into the meat of the game now. The back and forth between resources and rewards.
That brief little bit is obviously what your character looks like, and you can kind of it gives you a very brief idea of what the third-person brawler aspect kind of looks like. So, obviously, standard stuff. You can buy food, you can sell items or buy items. So, we should have. Oh, I thought I could sell my rusty axe, but apparently I cannot. So, buy items. Let's see. Shield we already have. An axe, which is 25. Healing cap, which is 35. Any healing that the player receives is doubled. And a sword. I don't know. Yeah, why not?
A peasant's weapon, but effective nonetheless.
2 more points of damage is 2 more points of damage.
Interesting choice.
So, the healing cap. I don't really have anything that gives me healing at this stage. So... But then again, what else am I going to spend my stuff on? So,
increasing the effect of one sort of magic with another. All you need is a channel for power, and it's simple enough.
Then I can always just buy some food. 11, I still got 14. Yeah, why not? Yeah, alright. We'll leave the shop. Choose your next card. Dead Man's Gorge.
I'm sure it's not called Dead Man's Gorge without reason.
I'm sure it's a very cheery place full of bunny rabbits and all kinds of furry little creatures. Let's see. While crossing the ancient rope bridges of Dead Man's Gorge, you hear the sounds of movement from below. It's an ambush. Draw a monster card. It's a trap. Alright, so 2 of Dust refers to... Dust, I believe, is the basic bandits. And 2 means, obviously, you're fighting 2 bandits. So... Everything here in the combat is pretty basic. Standard stuff. You've WASD to move.
You can now counter your opponent's attacks. Hit
left click to attack, right click to stun.
Indicator.
Dodge, roll, and counter. So... Yay, I win. As you can see, pretty straightforward stuff. It is, it's all, it ties together really nicely. I've enjoyed the experience that I've had so far in the game. You recover what you can from the dead. The dealer draws you 3 gain cards. Ooh, I get to draw an equipment. Huh, get another axe.
Are you a woodsman turned warrior now?
I suppose so. No, because it's the same thing I have right now. So
is that what you're going to do?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm going to do. Ooh, more food. And more food. Alright. It's another ambush.
What did you think would happen with a card called Ambush, eh?
I thought they were going to bring me tea and biscuits, damn it. Slight rustling behind you is all the warning you get that your life is in grave danger. Draw 1 monster card. 2 of Dust again. down they go. Alright, while searching the area for anything worth salvaging, you realize one of your opponents is only pretending to be dead. Sneak up and kill them or flee. Well, of course we're going to sneak up and kill them. Let's see. Ba-boom. Taken by surprise, you are knocked to the ground. When you recover, you find yourself alone with the dead. Dagnabbit. Jack of Dust.
You have
Alright.
reached my first champion. A good man, driven to madness by a war that took all from him. Wife and child, kith and kin. From such dark and brittle iron I forge my tools. Now we see your metal.
Yes, yes, you will.
This token will unlock more cards if you can defeat this encounter.
Alright, so these tokens here, after you're done with the encounter and you've beaten it, really at the end of the whole round, or whatever you want to call it, then whatever tokens you've collected, because some cards, any card that has that symbol on it will give you tokens, then they unlock more cards that you can add to your deck. So, anyhow, alright, we will continue on that note. Four of Dust. And there's Jack.
Some enemy attacks cannot be blocked or countered. Get out of the way or stop them with your own counter.
Ah! Ah! I should have dodged. Rolled. Roll! I'm a little click happy when it comes to combat, as you can no doubt tell. Oh no, we got. Oh, tried to dodge it, and I needed to. There we go. Roll, roll, roll. A little late on that. And down he goes.
Down into the worms with him. Perhaps there is peace for him in the grave, poor soul. One champion has been sent to the cabinet. Yet we are only at the start of our road. You will face 11 more opponents who will test your strength, your memories, and your resolve. Few fall at the first hurdle. None reach the last. We have wagered, and you have won. You may claim your rewards, yet I will also claim mine.
How ominous.
So do I. Balance must be retained.
Alright, so here's our first set of cards. Let's see, what do we get here? Jack of Skulls, that's going to be the boss for the next setup. Dead King's Hall, it's an encounter, and that has another token thing on it, so I'll gain one of these tokens again if I hit that encounter. Local Peasant, same thing. Devil's Choice, River, and Captain of the Guards. You want to actually do these, because once you do them once, then they don't, like, you don't get any more cards for them. You don't get the tokens again. So, the idea is as you go on, you kind of want to have more of these unknown encounters in your deck, because then you're going to get more cards at the end. So, alright, so there's that one. Medium Armor, Chains of Rage, Mercenary Contract, Medium Armor, Fortitude's Breath, and Desperate Measures. Alright then. And next. Bandit Attack. Maze of Traps. And Goblins. Alright then.
Shall we deal again?
So that was the first round. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to put a link in the description below for the Steam page for this particular game. It's on sale now. I believe it's $25 if there's no discounts on it. But it's definitely worth the time. It's a very enjoyable game. I would recommend if you're into card games or just kind of unique experiences on the computer. I would highly recommend picking this guy up. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.